After 22 years on the radio, we couldn't stay quiet for long.
We're Lori and Julia, still loud.
Pop culture, gossip, books, TV, music,
and probably a little too much laughter.
Let's do this.
Hello, everybody, and I want to say good morning because we're recording at 5 a.m. It feels like happy Wednesday, and you are listening to Lori and Julia, and this is still loud. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Julia.
What's happening?
Well, I had to send Jason a text this morning to ask him what time does his show start. You'd think I would know, but I
Jason
don't know.
from myTalk. Yes.
Because I'm filling in on Thursday and Friday, and I
How
listened
exciting.
to. Yeah, I am excited. We've never done his morning show, and I'm like, what time does this Easy Bake Oven show of yours start? 5:30, 6?
What time
6:30?
does it start? 6:30, I thought.
6.
Oh my gosh, Lori, because right now it's 9:30, and I stayed up way too late playing pickleball, and I'm exhausted, so it's 9:30. Lori, you got to get up. You're going to have to go to bed
luckily,
really
I
early.
live 5 minutes from the radio station.
It used to be 7, so it's gotten closer.
I think because there's no traffic at 5:30 in the morning.
This is true. Okay, so that's going to be fun. So Thursday and Friday of this week,
That's
you
right.
are
So-
going to be co-hosting. Lori, that's so fun. So it's going to be the 9th and 10th.
Yeah,
For
I
people.
don't know if I'm supposed to come prepared or if I just show up and, I have no idea. I'll just
Those would be
find
things-
out.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. I'm going to listen.
All right,
I'm going to
thank you.
listen. That's
Thank
very
you.
exciting. Well, it's 3 whole hours, Lori, or 6, 7, 8. Yeah,
3.
that's going to be a lot.
You
You're
can
gonna
do
have a
math.
blast.
You can do math, Grasshopper.
Barely,
I'm very proud of you.
barely. Okay, so I hope everyone had a good Easter. Ours was fun. Lori told me everything I can't do at my son's wedding.
I did not. I
Oh,
just
gosh.
said the one
Opinions.
idea was so dumb.
But it wasn't. But the beautiful thing is that it's my son's wedding and not yours. So you don't have to have opinions.
Well, I
Do
know,
you?
but I'm going to have opinions.
You had so many. I just was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. So we had a great Easter, and your grandkids, Lori, are so darn cute. It's
Aren't they
so
the best?
joyful having little kids. Little Dookie, what is he, like 2-ish?
He's 2.
And then we have to say, I told Bruce I'd give him a shout out. Hey, Bruce, how are you?
He-
The
he
family
does-
listens in Seattle,
Yes.
and not Seattle, in Chicago.
Yes. He loves listening to us. He doesn't always know what we're talking about, but he enjoys hearing our voices.
It's so funny.
Mhm.
It was so funny. So I was sitting with him. I used to, be very adaptable to children. And so I'm playing this little game with him on these cards where you like figure out what's missing, figure out what's not there, blah, blah, blah. And the next card is the answer card. It was such small print. I kept showing him, like I'd hold it out a foot away and say, I can't see this. And I skipped a page, and I don't know that he loved it, but he's so darling and smart.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And gorgeous. I mean, you're lucky. That
Yeah.
must be fun. How was the Easter egg hunt?
We had 2 Easter egg hunts, one in the house and one outside. The bunny was double blessing our house, and a squirrel or 2 might have gotten into the outside eggs. Casey wanted to be the Easter bunny and put them out the night before, and I'm like, no. And as
No.
it was in the morning, a few squirrels did manage to crack an egg and get in there, and there was
Serious?
so much candy. And the kids were so wild and so excited. So, yeah, it was super fun.
That is the one thing I still miss is the Easter egg hunts with the boys. That used to make me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
It's so joyful.
it
And then
is.
you were actually in an adult Easter egg roll.
Yes, I was. And I won a tea towel. So it's rolling hard-boiled eggs, whoever can get closest to the garage. And I went second, and you really have to roll harder. And Casey actually was in second place, and he won the tea towel. I wasn't anywhere near in
Jeff got
placement.
3rd place, and he
Did-
won a tea towel.
Yeah.
Tea towel. I mean, what a fun idea for adults.
Yeah, it was super fun. And then I took the ham bone from your brother John and made split pea soup yesterday.
Yum.
I'm dialing in twice a day to see if I have to do jury duty. And
Twice a day, Lori? I used to have it only once.
no, now they've streamlined the system.
Oh, that's streamlining?
I think so, because
Okay.
then you don't have to show up unless your number has been called. And it looks like my number will be called this afternoon, so I'll be reporting for my civic duty this afternoon. Of course, I'm in a panic about my hair appointment I have at 3, but I'll deal with that later. And when I went to Lund's yesterday to get my split pea soup ingredients,
Yes.
I forgot about this on the last holiday. Everyone buys their green
Hams.
split peas at the same time they're doing their shopping. So I had to make split pea soup out of yellow split peas.
So there was a run on the green peas.
Yes.
How
but
does it
it's
look?
like it
cares?
always does, like baby barf.
Yeah, but yellow. So it's
Yellow.
more baby poop barf.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's real thick. You can stick a spoon in it, and we'll find out what your brother thinks when he has some for lunch.
There's nothing better.
If you say so.
I think split pea. You don't like it.
I make it all the time if
I know
there's a
you do.
ham bone,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't ever touch it. And there's a lot of prep, and every time I do it, I use a different recipe.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah. I never
It was
use the same one.
something, it was kind of a staple when we grew up. Split pea soup with saltine crackers, and now you just add some Tabasco and hot sauce. We love it in our family.
Yeah,
At least
yeah.
the three of us that live in the Twin Cities. That's
Yes.
kind of fun. Okay, so Easter's over. You had your cute new Everreeve pants on.
Oh, yes. Those are going to be great for the Scandinavia trip.
Do you think so?
Oh,
so
yeah.
the packing, because we are only bringing carry-ons for our
That's
trip.
right. That's right.
And you think those are going to be water resistant, warm? I looked at the temperature.
Yeah, it's like 50s. It's still a little, too early to be checking the weather, but I went to Italy for 2.5 weeks with a carry-on suitcase and managed.
I did too, a couple years ago. It's doable.
I'll be glad, because we're moving around like every couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be nice just to have everything. And I sent your friend Shannon a tip. I said, do the 5-4-3-2-1 packing rule, or 3-3-3 packing.
You got to explain what that is for
Google
our listeners.
it, people. Google it.
Just explain it.
It's 5, 4,
shirts.
3, 2, 1. It's 5 tops, 4 bottoms, 3 something, 2 something. I can't remember what it is. Or you can go 3-3-3, but you can Google it.
You're so mean.
No, I'm not. I'm not. People, and your friend Shannon's like, can you tell me what that is? And I haven't told her to Google it yet, but I'm going to.
Lori, you
Come
give
on.
a tip.
What do I look like, Google?
You wait a minute. I love it. I'm so nice. I reached out and give a tip, but I really didn't.
But I did, because it is, you just Google 5-4-3-2-1 packing or 3-3-3. Those are the tips. I'm not doing the rest of the homework.
You're so funny. You're such a giver, but you're not.
I am. I'm a giver. She didn't know about this tipping. She was panicking about packing.
Well, I know. I know. It's only like we're leaving soon. I love it. We're doing the countdown. We had our big kickoff party last week for it, and we're getting very, very, very excited. Okay, so I know that we never talk about this person, but I kind of want to talk about this person for a second, because this person would be Kanye.
Why are we talking about him?
Only because I think people stood up for, their rights and about anti-Semitism. And he did that big apology about, the horrible song he wrote last year and selling the terrible T-shirts. And then he does one Wall Street Journal apology page, and then he sells out SoFi Stadium, which is in LA, last week for 2 nights, and doesn't make one reference to his apology. And he was signed up for this concert. It was whatever it was
It's a
called.
festival in London.
Yeah, and he was the headline singer, and they blocked him from coming, and all the sponsors dropped out. And
That was the first thing. The
yeah,
sponsors dropped. Pepsi dropped out because you never know what Kanye you're going to get. People don't trust him. And
hmm
so Pepsi dropped out. Then another sponsor dropped out. Then another one. They had one sponsor left. Well,
hmm
the sponsors is how the festival happens. So they
yep,
just collapsed the festival and said it's not going to happen now because the sponsors all dropped out. And Kanye wrote a thing on social media saying, he'd be happy to meet with any Jewish people to talk about his feelings. And I'm like, why should any Jewish people talk to him about the crap he said? Why do they have to defend who
exactly.
they are, where they are? So
The only other thing I will say is that he, does one page apology, and apparently at the SoFi Stadium's 2 concerts last week, doesn't even make a reference to it, and he blames it on his mental health and other things, and on his bipolar thing, and people were mad in the bipolar community, like, you did horrible things and said horrible things. I don't know. He has a long path to forgiveness, I think.
Yeah, he does. And I certainly, that wouldn't be a motivating thing for me to go to a music festival and that Kanye is playing. I'd be
Not
like,
at all.
okay, yeah.
Not at all.
I'd say, oh, good, I can leave early.
Because Coachella's coming up. Are you ever going to go to that one?
I could go because there's a military base at 29 Palms, which is like maybe 10 miles from the festival site, but it's a long walk into the festival.
Yes.
And I just soon go to the New Orleans Jazz Fest. That's
Yes.
the best music festival if you want to travel somewhere and just see a well-organized festival. And better yet, the music starts at 11 a.m. every day and ends at 7. These
You
are
sound
your
like
concert
me.
hours.
You sound like me. I love
But
those concert hours.
that's good concert
Mhm.
hours, right? So
I would agree. All right, I just wanted to bring that up because we never talk about him, but
all right,
he's
let's
something.
switch to
Yes, let's
a
switch.
show that is lived up to the reputation. The Real Housewives of Rhode Island debuted on Thursday night. We had a second episode on Sunday night, and I watched it with the bonus girl and her husband. And after the second episode was over, we looked at each other and said, we have been existing on crumbs from Beverly Hills in Orange County. The Rhode Island Housewives was, first of all, real friendships. Some of these people have known each other going
Yes.
back to kindergarten. Messy dramas with the
The end.
polyamorous relationship with the one lady. Maybe some swinging, low stakes chaos, a woman getting run over. 5 of the 6 women all look alike. It's hard to tell who is who. I was so glad to be getting more than crumbs. It was really quite fun. It's what the Real Housewives always has. That's what it starts out to be. And I mean, when you think about Beverly Hills, the last 3, it's just the same things over and over. Dorit is late. Kyle doesn't tell us. I mean, how much can you wring out of this? In 2 episodes of Rhode Island, your head was spinning. There was so much great stuff. And
I loved it.
There's some real characters. I loved it too.
I absolutely loved it. I will say the storylines, I mean, they have some serious stuff. When you say polyamorous, you mean this woman has lived with this man for 10 years, and he only lives with her 6 months in Rhode Island, and he lives 6 months in Florida with a completely different woman.
I mean, some people would say this is a perfect relationship. How do I get that? But I think this guy, because within 24 hours of his blacked out picture of the 2 of them that they kept flashing on the Thursday night episode, the internet did their digging, found out who the guy was. I am convinced he's doing what Kelsey Grammer did to Camille Grammer all those years ago on Beverly Hills and got her cast or encouraged her to go for it so he can break up with her.
So he can get her some of her own money.
That's right.
Because she met him when she was like 18 or 19. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And
she
20 years older.
And she admitted last night she's got another boyfriend in the 6 other
Yeah,
6
that's what I'm
months.
saying. Low
Yeah.
stake, chaotic drama.
Mhm.
I am here for it.
And I love it. I love it. It's very, very, very fun.
I didn't get a chance to watch Atlanta, but they've done a reboot of that. So I would like to. Yeah, I would like to maybe peek at Atlanta, but I dipped out of that a while ago.
Yeah, it's not. I watched it for 2 years. It's too much. Okay, so Savannah Guthrie came back to the Today Show earlier in the week.
Yeah,
And
just Monday she came back. I was surprised
because she came back, or
no, I just was. I guess I thought she might. It's been 10 weeks since her mom was kidnapped. I just thought that she would maybe take some more time, but I mean, maybe it's better to be with her work family and feel the support that way and do something to take your mind off of it and have something else to focus on for a few hours every day. And I thought it was really moving when she went outside yesterday to the Today Show crowd, the plaza, and she had yellow on, and just like they did, back in the olden days, tie a yellow ribbon around an old oak tree. And that was the thing for when in Iran, when all the people were the embassy was kidnapped. Remember, like 400 some days. And there were yellow ribbons around trees everywhere until they got home. So she came out in her yellow dress and people had cards and she was very overwhelmed emotionally. And I thought the Today Show handled it really well. They didn't dwell on it. She was just like, well, let's just get to the news, and she handled the war story, the astronaut. She didn't do anything light and fluffy. She did what she is good at. So it was great to see her. And the other morning news shows just did make mention as a fact that she is back. And so I was glad that they covered it also.
Yeah,
and not
because they covered
ignoring
her mom's, it's a major, horrible news story.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like her. And she's a heavy hitter.
Oh,
who are you looking at?
Remember the day she had to go on the air with Hoda and say that Matt Lauer has been credibly accused of sexual assault and is no longer on the show? I mean, she handled that with grace and just, under that pressure. I remember
she's a good journalist, and she's a former
is.
attorney. She's just well versed, and I think she's good. So that's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. All right. So did you ever go to that movie, the Ryan Gosling movie?
When would I have had time to go to a movie over this holiday weekend, Julia? When exactly?
You're so busy.
I had a house full of people making food, having fun, playing Matchbox, playing Hot Wheels, racing, dancing, watching The Floor is Lava.
What is The Floor? What is that?
It's a game show where two groups of 3 adults have to do an obstacle course without falling into the lava floor, which is really just like goo. And they have to get these 3 things. I don't know. The kids absolutely love it. And I've become an expert on The Floor is Lava. And I think you and I, depending on who our third person would be, we'd kick butt on this show. And you can win $10,000, Julia. And it made me think of when I won $10,000 on To Tell the Truth. And I split it with the other 2 contestants, because we fooled the judges.
Did you come home with money?
Yes, we each got like $2,000, and
right.
you allowed me to keep it because I'd, gone to
I'm
LA.
Nice. So I didn't even take it. What's wrong with me?
I don't know, but that's about all you get after
I want
taxes.
it now.
Yeah, right.
I want it back. Let's. That sounds like a fun show, though.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Fear Factor.
Yeah.
American Ninjas. It's a combination of the two. So
I love it. All right, let's thank a couple of sponsors, okay? So Twin Cities Closet Company is a family-run business in the Twin Cities area, and we just love working with them, and the results are amazing. Imagine going into your closet, opening the door, and not having things fall on your feet or in your face, or being able to put clothes back on a shelf and not have to shove them in so hard. They just come up with solutions that with you, it's a conversation. They come into your home and give you a complimentary consultation, find out what your needs are, really want to see you in your own space so they can make sure that they're coming up with the best solution. But from the beginning to the end, everything is handled in-house. It's all the products are made and manufactured here. They give you a complete design, 3D design, picture so you can see exactly what they're going to do. The installation is amazing. They're all their people that work there full time, so they don't hire consultants to come and do the install or anything. And it's just they are lovely to work with. They use the best products. They've got the best people, and they really support our community. And we love working with Twin Cities Closets, and you will too. Why not? Why not go to tcclosets.com and sign up for your complimentary consultation and start making your dreams reality? And it doesn't cost too much to, no project is too small for them. Starting, or too big is right. They do garages, mudrooms, pantries, closets, of course, laundry rooms, just solutions for every area in your house. And tell them Lori and Julia sent you, tcclosets.com. And then this is the big week for the Robert Mark shows.
Yes, it is at Envision.
Yes, tell everyone about it.
Okay, so Envision Distinctive Eyewear, we're so happy to be working with them. It's such an amazing place to shop for glasses. They really are the eyeglass whisperers. But Robert Mark, they're doing a double trunk show this week on Friday. They'll be at the North Loop downtown Minneapolis, Minnetonka, and then the Galleria, and then on Saturday at Grand Avenue and the Galleria. And that's where they bring every frame that Robert Mark makes in every color, every Lenore frame. And the Robert Mark, these tend to be classic, but they also have some very funky shapes. And then Lenore is a very, I would call it dignified, elegant, a lot of light frames in different copper, silver, gold, but they're very classy and pretty frames and handsome because there's a lot of guys who also like Lenore frames. So this would be a fun time if you're looking to punch up your eyewear wardrobe. You've got a trunk show to go to.
And at a trunk show, it's literally every style and every color. Yeah. So you really get to go. It's so much easier than trying on clothes. Everything fits.
That's right.
But those that don't. And I got to see your new glasses that you're wearing right now in person because I haven't seen you since you got them.
Oh,
they're gorgeous. The rich colors on Lori's new frames. They're so beautiful, Lori. Those are gorgeous. What are those?
These are Phosphos, and they're a turquoise and gold. And they're just pretty, and there's so much color on the frames that, they have eye makeup on today, but if you don't ever feel like wearing eye makeup, these glasses twinkle your eyes for you without any makeup.
You just twinkly envision-optical.com, 4 great locations in the Twin Cities, in the Galleria, Grand and Victoria, Minnetonka, and Hopkins Crossroad. And not Hopkins Crossroad. What did I just say?
Yeah, it's
Lori?
Hopkins Crossroad. The one in Minnetonka?
Yeah, it is. Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's across from Ridgedale.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Back to you, darling.
Okay. So Casey and I watched the Dark Winds finale
I
last
haven't
night.
Even started it.
It is such a great show. It's been on AMC. I think this is its 5th season. And it's a thriller series set in the 1970s on the Navajo Nation following tribal police officers Joe Leaphorn, played by Zan McClarnon, who's fabulous, and Jim Chi, Kiowa Gordon. They investigate complex crimes that basically crime solving with personal and cultural struggles. They're based on the Tony Hillerman novels, which your Aunt Marlene read voraciously.
Yep.
And it is noir, Western, a little supernatural crime, and one season follows one crime. And it's executive produced by George R.R. Martin and Robert Redford. And the first season, or the first episode of this last season that just finished up, it's been on since 2022. It was dedicated to Robert Redford. And he and George R.R. Martin, in the fourth season, like maybe the eighth episode, seventh episode, they played two guys who were sitting in the jail cell. Joe Leaphorn was at his desk and they were playing cards. And that was his last appearance in a show, but he is the executive producer of this show. And it's become a huge hit on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. And it's based there. They live in like North Dakota.
Navajo Nation.
Navajo Nation.
I think where
New
they
Mexico?
are. Well, it's New Mexico, Utah, and Arizona. It's like it's a huge amount of space. But anyway, the finale was absolutely fantastic, and it was a great cliffhanger, and it was a great season. And this German actor who just died like in maybe December, Euro Koda, he's a German guy. You would know him. Udo Kier. I'll show you the picture of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he often plays a bad guy. So he was in this fifth season of Dark Winds, playing a German who's been hidden by his granddaughter for many years. He's a Nazi war criminal, and he has dementia. He thinks he's back in 1942 Germany. And it's just wild, and it's wild what happens to him in this show. But that was his last appearance. So it's the second time that somebody's been on the show that, it's just kind of wild. But, he was also, I think he was 81 years old and had been sick, but it was fun to see him because he's always been a real fierce actor. But I'm in love with Joe Leaphorn, Zach McClarnon. The whole cast is so good, and it's really worthwhile. Now, the fifth season won't be streaming until probably next year because they want people to subscribe to AMC.
Lori, so is the entire season available right now, the fourth season on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay.
4 seasons. So you can watch it on Netflix, and it's become this huge hit. And I always think of AMC as the company
launch board
Breaking Bad after HBO turned it down.
Yep.
And they've had a lot of good shows on AMC. But so, yeah, you can catch up on the first 4 seasons on Netflix, and then the fifth one just wrapped on AMC, and it was a big thumbs up. 10s.
10s.
Mm-hmm.
I am a season behind. I'm still the man in the blue car. Yeah, and we are like halfway through it, and I don't know, other things came up. But
yeah.
Oh, that show is something.
It's good.
It's very good.
And don't you remember Aunt Marlene having all those paperbacks?
Totally. My mom read a few too. I feel like we read a few.
I did too.
I can still see the covers. Yeah.
Yes. Dream catcher, or, some kind of, it would always be something very significant with Native.
Yes.
Might be also scenery because it's so beautiful. They film on location.
Mm-hmm.
And it is stunning.
We're talking about
scenery.
Dark Winds. Yeah, it's
so
amazing.
Good.
All right. So I listened to a complete book the other day, in one day, and we had talked about it last week. You actually told me about it. And
Strangers by Belle Burden.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what was the text that I sent you?
I listened to this. I don't think you have to.
But okay, so it's like
and it's been optioned.
It's already optioned
for a movie.
Gwyneth Paltrow is starring it. Somehow Drew Barrymore, maybe her production company's involved, in Gwyneth Paltrow production company's involved, but it's out there. So basically, it's this very privileged woman, Belle Burden, talking about how her marriage implodes. She's married to this very wealthy man, and suddenly after 20 years, which she thinks they pretty much have a perfect marriage, he just got caught in an affair and then leaves. And this is
Mhm.
all on the book cover. And he leaves without an explanation of why he's leaving. And literally doesn't want to have contact with the kids, doesn't want to have contact with her. And
Shame.
I know.
Shame.
And, you know, when I finished, she narrates it. And she's extremely, people think it's so raw and so great because it's this very wealthy woman from a very wealthy pedigree and family who is so open about the end of her marriage and how this guy that she was married to just literally just stopped everything. And she talks about, worrying about at the club, will they like him or accept her on the Cape? And, some things that seem very entitled.
Yeah.
Um,
That is a part of divorce. Who's getting the cabin? Who's getting the
the
invitation?
friends?
Who's getting the friendship?
It is.
It doesn't matter what income stratosphere you're in. When you break up, all these family things and all these tertiary things come into play, and people are genuinely surprised. When my first marriage, I got dumped by everybody except 3 people. And
Mhm.
we had a big friend group of like 25 people that I would have thought were all my really good friends. But
Right.
I was the only one standing in a corner with 3 friends, cut off from everything. It's shocking and it's hurtful.
Yeah. And at the beginning of her marriage to this guy, they met and married in like 3 months. They worked together for a while, and he's a, hedge fund guy. But he made her change she wanted a prenup because she's from big money.
Mhm.
And he made her change the prenup to say this, that everything we come into the marriage with is ours, but all the earnings during the marriage
Go to him.
go to whoever made the money. And they
Oh,
have 3 children or 2 kids.
oh boy.
I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. And her family, her brother said, "Don't do it," or "Stepmom," because her
Yeah,
parents were,
don't sign that.
"Don't sign it." Everyone. And she was an attorney herself. And he talked her into signing this.
My
So
God.
their very first apartment in Manhattan, they paid for out of one of her trusts. And then the house on the Cape, they paid for out of her trust. And so she tells everyone, she thinks she has this happy, wonderful marriage. For me, it's a memoir. And I think it was a little monotone. I did listen to the whole thing in a day. Um,
Wow.
but I think the movie is going to be great. I don't know why the book just kind of left me, just kind
Yeah.
of, people loved it, but I felt,
I think, Julia, why it's getting all the buzz is because she is this very intelligent woman. She does come from, like she did all this stuff against her instinct. Like, why do you want to believe in the fairy tale so much that you would put aside your practicality? And I think there's a lot of women in these kinds of marriages that from the outside look like they have it all, but they're trapped in a way that they can't, they're not leaving. So I think it's causing buzz because people are talking about stuff that they wouldn't talk about in this circle of, this
yes.
high income.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's gotten the buzz. I think to you and I, regular, middle class ladies who've been divorced, it brings back raw feelings. I don't care how long ago you got divorced or broke up.
Mhm.
I'm not ever really comfortable in those kind of feelings anyway, because I think you got to close a chapter and close the door and move on and get on with it. That's just my oldest child in me. But that's not the kind of book that I want to read because I don't want to regurgitate those feelings about all the ways that I was dumb, not
And
once, but twice, and lost
right.
money.
Right.
I didn't have kids, and, I didn't get my heart broken, but my heart got broken in other ways. So I think you and I we've dealt with our feeling. I mean, did it bring up stuff for
Well,
you reading it?
kind of yes and
Yeah.
no. But the big
Okay.
thing that I think about is that how people are so uncomfortable with the prenup. And, we
Mm.
worked with Ann Tressler forever, Tressler Law. And a prenup is just a responsible adult thing to do. And if one of the party gets mad about doing a prenup, they're insecure. They're not coming into it with as much stuff or something. It's just something because he made her. Who says that? Who would even a grown woman who's an attorney even
does she
give
go
over that?
into why she went along with it, even though she knew
she just
intellectually?
Trusted him, and she said she lived like a 1950s housewife. She didn't know where the money is. She didn't know anything, and he would come home less and less and less and less. And I think the thing that is really hard in this book is he never really gives her an explanation as to why he left. I think you need closure, and he never gives it to her.
Why doesn't she just accept that he fell out of love with her and didn't want to sleep with screw her anymore? Why is that so hard to
It isn't
just
that.
accept?
It's more, it's that's part of it, but the fact that you leave your children.
Well,
that's the part that she's like, is this man just doesn't have any emotions or anything? I mean, that's
shame.
So anyway, people are loving it. People are. I thought her voice was monotone. I give it a. I mean, I listened for a whole day.
You did,
I'm
all
just
right.
being really honest.
That says something.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it to I mean, I think the movie will be good.
Okay.
I really think it'll be good, and that's kind of what I think. And usually, I don't think a movie is going to be better than a book, but. That's kind of my thing. And then I'm in the process of reading this book. I'm just going to show you the picture. Have you heard of this one, Good People?
Who's it by?
Her name is Patmeena Sabit. And
let me look and see if I have it on hold. I have 278 books to read.
It's called Good People.
Okay.
And it's told in the style of like fourth person, the wall, like The Office, where they would
I have it on my books to read.
Yeah, it's an interesting book, Lori. It's told in a way, and this again I'm listening to because I had all these Audible credits I needed to use. And it's a book, people say it's a gorgeous debut, one of the first years, great. It's a stunning read. It's one of the best books of 2026 so far. It's about this family that comes across from Pakistan, and they're trying to make it, and it talks about what happened,
Okay.
Comparing, being a first and second generation here in the United States and what goes along with that and the struggle. But it's literally told like so-and-so's aunt. I remember when this, so-and-so reporter. I remember when this. So it's told in kind of a different format.
But it's a debut novel from this author.
Yes.
She's never written a book before. So people are
it's
enchanted.
very compelling. And talking about just good people means, you come in that culture, how being a good person is so important, and how Americans raise their children, and specifically their girls, differently than Muslims raise their girls. And the comparison, we always thought that was a good it has a lot of different layers. It's very interesting, but it's just told like in a completely different format because there's a lot of people involved. I'm enjoying this one.
All right. Well, here's the book I'm reading.
God, people think all we do probably is watch and read.
Well, it's a big part. Somebody's got to do it. And Chris Hewitt calls April 7th, like October 7th, the Bookapalooza, because so many books
I know about
are coming
Tell
out.
me.
The book that I just finished is Falling.
Okay.
And it's by T.J. Newman, a flight attendant who sent this to 55 publishing houses before someone came along and said yes.
How many publishing?
55.
Wow.
And it's called Falling, and it is a thriller. It came out this summer, I believe. Gillian Flynn blurbed it, the perfect thriller, a must read. This is Jaws at 35,000 feet, Don Winslow. I was I was glad I wasn't reading this on a plane or
Okay.
en route to an airport, okay, because
We're going on a trip soon.
you just boarded a flight to XYZ. There's about 143 people on board. What you don't know is that 30 minutes before the flight, something with the pilot's family, I don't want to give anything away. Anyway, it's just a real buckle up, fasten your seatbelt, and escape book. But I also love the story of TJ Newman. Just the story of her, but really just a wild ride of a book. And she was a flight attendant for like maybe, I don't know, she's only 43, but
wow, okay.
She said no one has better stories than flight attendants. Anyone, and she reminds you of something. Yes, it's nice that we get waited on by our flight crew, our flight attendants. They're giving us snacks and food. But remember, their number one purpose is the safety of the souls on board the ships and on the ships. And this is lingo. They do refer to people as souls because everyone has a life, and often planes are referred, can be called a ship or whatever, but they're responsible if anything were to ever happen. And so just give a shout out to our flight attendants, because we've met so many great ones. But
oh my gosh.
TJ said that if you get a group of stews, if they're a certain age, or flight attendants, you will not hear crazier stories from a population that just works that they can out story anybody.
Because people are contained. They
right.
show all of their emotions.
That's right. There's medical things. There's drunk thing. There's all kinds. There's sex things. There's just all kinds of things that.
I'm glad you got that in. It's been, we're into this, and I haven't heard you talk about sex yet. So Lori, 41 minutes in and no sex yet. Thank you.
Good. Pretty good.
You're back to, okay, that sounds like a great book.
So anyway, it's a thriller escapism, but some of the books came out on Bookapalooza, April 7th, which had a couple of these authors on our show. Emma Straub.
Yes.
She has a new book out called American Fantasy. Cynthia DeAprix, who we had on for The Nest. She has a book out called Lake Effect. John Sanford, who we've long loved. He's got a new Lucas Davenport book, Revenge Prey, is out. A Praise to Die For by Heather Graham is out. Guilt is another hot book, and The Girls Trip and The Ending Writes Itself. There's just Google April 7th books, and you'll have a whole list of new books to take your pick from. But I'm always impressed, Julia, how many authors we talked to over the years on our radio show. That was just the most intense part of the job for our producer, Donnie Love. And you found out after he left during COVID, then you became the book producer. And it's a lot of juggling, but we've talked to everybody.
We really have.
I feel very proud
I
of
have
that.
one more for you, Lori, though. Have you heard of The Book Witch?
No, but I want to hear about the Book
because
Witch.
this, I got to find the picture. So we're thinking people are looking at us because we're looking at each other when we do this podcast, but you can't see us. The Book Witch. So this was just nominated as, it's a 4 point. The cover is just darling. First of all, The Book Witch. Look at the cover. Look.
The Book Witch. Love the cover.
By Meg Schaefer. So this was voted by librarians is the best new novel to read. They did this list before you go to bed. Trying to get people off of their screens before they go to bed, but a lot of us read on Kindle. But what this is about, Lori, it's about a witch that can jump in and out of her favorite stories. And she can't go back into this one story. She's forbidden to going back into this one story where this guy is called the Duke of Chicago. And
I love it already.
No, Lori, I'm dying for it. I can't wait to finish Good People to start this one. And so she's forbidden to go and visit her favorite character, but she thinks her favorite character will help her solve who her grandfather is. And it's
This
on,
sounds
she's
so
got a limited
good.
amount of time. I mean, we love things with, witches. And it's not fantasy sex stuff because that's not our
Yeah.
genre, but a lot of people's. But her name is Rainey, and her coven just forbids her from seeing the Duke of Chicago. But I love that she gets to
Oh, I
book
hope
hop.
she goes and revisits Scarlett O'Hara.
Well, she can jump in and out of her favorite stories.
Yeah.
And this is a rogue character. He
Oh,
sounds kind of dashing and debonair, the Duke of Chicago.
yeah, like Rhett Butler.
Right. It's the book Witch. So I
Okay.
just thought that is kind of God, we love our books.
And
don't we?
and our the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue was named
Yes.
by Goodreads the best book of the last decade from
Was it?
2015 to 2015, and we talked to VL Schwab and
VA.
Schwab. We loved that book. She was so interesting to talk to and very shy, as I recall. But she was fun to talk to. And then so it was named and I would say then the 10 years before that, the book of that decade, 2005 to 2015, was the Evelyn Hugo, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That would have been that decade's best book. So
I would agree.
we do have good book taste.
We have Lori, we have great book taste. Okay, so let's thank a few people. Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota.
By the way, I watched your video on Instagram of your hair growth, what you've had, but more importantly, I haven't seen your hair was so styled, and then I could really see how full it is in the crown, which has been the thin part of your hair for the last 15 years.
Well, I know it. So I had growth factor done. And I just had one treatment, and this is where they use stem cells, not mine. They use young people, stem cells that have way more life in them than mine, and they give you shots into your scalp area. And the results have been phenomenal. And I have stronger hair, regrowth hair, hair that's regrown. I know like a family member that's going to go do this. And it's just, there's so many options because for most people, as we age, based on our hormones, our hair thins. Some people it doesn't. Lori's an anomaly in almost every area of the world of her body and her life. But if you are worried about this, there's options. There's surgical and non-surgical options, and it all starts with a consultation with Beth. And if your gentleman friend or your kids or your husband, whatever it is, partner, if they are struggling with it, there are so many options, and they're the experts. HRIMN.com is where you go for a free consultation. It's just amazing. It's amazing, the results. I'm thrilled, Lori. But thank you. My hair was so gray that day.
But it looked so good. All you saw was thick. Your hair looked lush. It was styled. It looked pretty.
Yeah. And thank you. Thank you. We love working with them. They understand everything. They'll work with you, and they're located at Mall of America. You can do a consultation in person, or you can do it virtual, whatever you like. Tell them Lori and Julia sent you. Now let's talk about your hormones. We were just talking about your hormones. And what happens. Gosh, I was talking to someone last night at Pickleball who said, I'm having hot flashes. I'm 56. I'm still getting acne. I still am getting my period. There's so much going on in my body right now. I can barely breathe. I'm just so having mood swings. I'm irritable. I have fatigue. I have brain fog. I have this. I have that. Listen, your hormones regulate your body, and they're so important. And depending on wherever you are in, this stage of life, perimenopause, menopause for the day,
That's
or
right.
postmenopause, there are options. And Dr. Lisa is an OBGYN board certified doctor and owner of Lake Med Spa in Wayzata, and it's spelled LAKMEDSPA.com. And she does specific consultations to help you understand what's happening with your hormones, gives you options, what can happen in a really loving, kind way.
Well, you and I both had experiences with our regular doctors who both just confessed to us, I don't really specialize in that. You'll have to seek
Yep.
a consultation. We were not taught that. We don't have, we just don't practice prescribing any bioidentical hormones. And we're like, what are we going to do?
Right. And like
Yeah.
elastin, estrogen has such a profound effect on everything. It binds stuff to your cells. It stimulates hyaluronic acid in your body and gives you, it helps you retain moisture as you age, aka wrinkles. And there's just so much that you can do. And they also have a great spa, and we'll get into those treatments later, but call them today or visit lakmedspa.com and book a consultation with Dr. Lisa. You will be very happy. And finally, let's thank Borton Overseas, Lori.
Traveling. They are the experts. If they go to a destination, you can be sure that you will have a meticulously planned out trip that meets what you want to do. And then they also always have the best ideas for experiences that you can do. I mean, you can really if you just think you're going to go wing it sometimes to a certain destination, like where Borton goes, Scandinavia, Africa, Iceland, it's not easy to wing it.
No.
And just, bounce around on your own. How many days should you spend somewhere? Am I going to need a car? How easy is it to take a train? Or, so having that on the ground expertise. And like after you went to that meeting last week, did you just not get more excited about Scandinavia?
I'm thrilled. And the other thing about their expertise is they have staff from Denmark. They have staff from Iceland. They've been doing and from Africa, they are truly experts.
On the
they
ground.
Go and visit, and they do these trips and make sure that they work and make sure that they're hitting the hottest spots. They know all the new stuff, all the insights and tips you're going to get to really have a great experience. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, and if you're going on your own, you can book this through a travel agent because Borton Overseas, they sell to travel agents. They customize small groups because sometimes families want to do a thing and they'll just customize a trip for a family reunion that's going to one of these destinations. So it really is, that expertise is worth its weight in gold, man.
Visit BortonOverseas.com. It truly, truly is. Oh my gosh, Laura. All right, so you have a busy week. Jury duty,
I have a busy week.
The Jason show.
The Jason show, possibly doing, jury duty. I do want to just address the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that.
Lawsuit last week. And there was a little bit of misinformation. But here's basically in a nutshell. This was always our worry from day one when we heard about this lawsuit, because
Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against her co-star and director of the movie,
Justin Baldoni.
Yeah.
It Ends With Us.
It ends with her.
But really how it ended is that when the movie came out, the day the movie came out, Blake decided that there had to be two premieres, one for her people and one for Justin. This is the movie premiere in New York. No one could talk her out of this. Okay. And her appearances leading up to the movie, doing morning shows and some of these other interviews with Entertainment Tonight, she wore flowery dresses and was pushing Betty Buzz and a hair care line. And
that's Betty Buzz was her non-alcoholic drink line or something.
Colleen Hoover has a ton of readers. She's sold at the airport. So people who read the book, like I read the book and hated it, threw across the room. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It didn't ring true to me at all. But Blake Lively chose to spend all of her time talking about her hair and drinks and her pretty dresses and just looking pretty, and never once brought up anything with what the topic of the book is about, which is domestic violence, which can be emotional, verbal, and physical. But It's the emotional and verbal thing. That was what Colleen's book was about the insidious ways that, so she never listened to any of her team. Like, you've got to throw out something. You can't just be painting a pretty Rosie Picture. And Justin Baldoni and his friend who owns Wayfarer Studio were like, we want to have a mutual message on how we message a difficult movie. This isn't a rom-com, because that's what
Right.
it looked like. If you'd
Right.
never read the book, you thought you were getting a rom-com
Right.
about a beautiful girl named Lily Bloom who owns a florist shop in the most Newberry Street in Boston,
Which was where Copley Place. We'd always stay there at Marriott.
the most expensive real estate.
I know, it's beautiful.
How she affords this, and her name is Lily Bloom, and you think it's going to be about a choice between her first love and this new love, this hot doctor, but it is not that. So she blew it. This is where it all stems from, okay? Because she got blowback. He was getting praise, but no one knew anything was wrong until they had 2 separate premieres, which caused all kinds of theories and pile-on, and the internet quickly became anti-Blake Lively.
She filed it 2 days before Christmas.
She waited. She waited
till after the
movie
premiere
came out in August.
And she filed a sexual discrimination
Yeah, well, she filed in California, and she's suing Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studio for sexual harassment.
That was it. And
the judge Lyman, whose brother is a bigwig like at CMA, something Lyman, Liman. So Hollywood connection there with the judge and his Lyman brother. He threw out 10 of the 13 because the movie was filmed in New York. The lawsuit was filed in California, and actors are not employees of the studio. They're considered independent contractors because you get your own salary. We're not in the studio days where people had a 7-year contract with a movie theater,
right?
Or a movie company, Warner's or so on, and they owed them 7 pictures. So why she got such bad legal advice? So they tossed everything in California, the sexual harassment, they tossed everything because she's not an employee. And now the 3 counts are that did Justin Baldoni smear her name?
Okay.
Is what it comes down to. But unfortunately for Blake Lively, she smeared her own name, and her book could be called How to Burn Through and Torture Your Career and Lose Friends in 3 months in Hollywood.
In High Places, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. And the thing is, Blake has dug in her heels. She didn't like working with Justin Baldoni. They have different memories of how their conversations and everything are going. Settlements, she's not settling, and I don't know if he's not settling. So this is going to trial in the middle of May. And my worry, and the other thing that so it wasn't like this total, it was more a technicality, those 10 legal things.
Yes.
But what's coming out is that every single kind of blogger that really made it to be a point, or maybe they're a TikToker, whatever they are, they've got a website, but they've got enough traffic where they did a lot of engaging on Blake Lively, and she has sent, a lot of these people have spent $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to get out of a legal thing with her. She went after everybody who amplified anything negative about her, that enough to cause interest. So maybe you had to have 20,000 followers. I don't know what her cutoff was.
So anyone who said anything derogatory about her, she went after them to sue them.
Yes, and now all those people have been speaking up. So I think that she's got 2 big battles. She has to win back the disdain of the public, and she has to win back the disdain of the studio heads who in charge of movies, because she's suing the studio, Wayfarer Studios.
Mhm.
And so she's got that. So she's got a very hard road, and I feel bad that, you know how you can back yourself into a corner and
Yeah.
you can't be talked out of something?
Yeah.
That's
And
where
you're
I feel she
and
is.
even yeah. And everyone knows you should have let it go a long time ago, but you just keep digging in and
And
digging
she's
in, and
claiming it as that she suffered digital violence. And what she inflicted, it's a self-inflicted wound, because and this isn't in any of the lawsuit, but it was something that we noticed from the get-go, and we were so upset about this because we were still on the radio.
yeah, we were.
We couldn't, I particularly as someone who has been in a domestic violent relationship and suffered emotional, physical, and verbal and emotional abuse,
Right?
it really bugged me that she couldn't give any, like 20% of her time to talk about the big
subject
dark
matter
secret
of
that
the book and the movie.
yes, of the book and the movie, and that it affects every stratosphere of money. You can have tons
Every
of money, you can have no money,
demographic, yeah.
everything. And so she's mad that basically people called her out on it. What she did was she filmed a dangerous movie in that she's didn't want to listen to her PR and her marketing team or Justin Baldoni, who, if you remember, has kind of, before all this happened, he was trying to be an advocate for women and also standing up as a man and saying, I've been guilty of some of this behavior.
Mhm.
Not physical, but I've been verbally abusive. I've been
Right.
cruel. I've said, and so she really, she didn't take anyone's advice from the get-go. And we didn't want her to do this because we're like, you're just Streisanding it. You're bringing more attention. Now she's claiming she's been the victim of digital violence, but it was a self-inflicted blow. At the end of the day, she has to own that. Maybe whether she goes through therapy to get that, but she has to own it.
In a way, I really I feel bad for her.
I do too.
And I think at the time, she had just given birth to her third or fourth
Yeah.
child. I think there was some post, partum stuff going on that she talked about. And I understand, but she just, no one does this. No one files that lawsuit. You're just like,
you just walk away and never work with that person again.
But
so much of
she's
this
got a stain on her name so bad now.
And what happened, she's tried to say that it happened during the movie, but it was really during the promotion of the movie.
Yeah.
And then she goes and she files really a lawsuit on the worst day of anyone's life,
right before the holidays.
The day before Christmas Eve, on the Friday.
Yeah.
It just brought more attention on a slow news weekend. So I don't know who her PR people are that have been advising her, but no one's ever been able to talk any sense into her, obviously. Because even that came off as cruel.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because she could have waited to the middle of the next week or into the new year. But she wanted to make a statement. So again, it feels like, it's just a mean person thing to do. And we are burned out on mean.
Feel bad for her.
But aren't you burned out on people being mean? We're just burnt out on it, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
So she's got, but this is going to trial. I do not
will
see
it be
this settling.
on court TV or anything? Do we get to watch it?
I'm going to hell for the first time today, but we can only hope.
I know you do. I'm going to join you because it's something. Who ranted? Who went off? Oh, Brian.
Brian Cox from Succession. I love when he gives interviews. He's so shady.
He is just such a crabby, curmudgeon old man, English man.
But at the same time, he's speaking it right. Like, okay, the interview he gave with the Herald in the UK was he was being very funny and making fun of Margot Robbie as Kathy in Wuthering Heights because
What
she
did he
was on
say?
a very famous Aussie soap opera called Neighbors. I think that's how Hugh Jackman met his wife, Debbie, who was like 18
Yes.
years old. She was like the sex
Yes.
symbol. I don't know if that's the show, but anyway,
In Australia,
Australia,
where they're
and you
from.
know that
Yep.
Kiwi accent. So he's going, Heathcliff, it's me, Kathy, you know, and he just like, he's like, she's too beautiful to play that role. And he just went on and on doing Wuthering Heights lines, but
Funny.
making
Funny.
fun of instead of Heathcliff, Keithcliff, because
Okay, that's so funny.
it was hysterical.
Okay, that's so funny. And then he went off like Johnny Depp. He's so
That was a while ago. That was like
Oh,
2018.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
funny.
He's funny, and he, caused a ruckus at the end of Succession when he talked about what a pain in the ass Jeremy Strong was, which I can see a television show for 7 years, and the guy is always in character around you.
I would go crazy.
You go
I
crazy.
would go
And
crazy.
he just said, but that's who he, so I get a kick out of Brian Cox. I'm like, if I see he's done an interview, I'm like, but yeah, if you can listen to him doing Margot Robbie as
Okay, I'm
Kathy
totally
in
gonna
Wuthering Heights
YouTube that.
in the strong not Kiwi, that's New Zealand, the strong Aussie accent. How they drop some of their thing, it's just great. So, Keithcliff, it's me, Kathy. He's like, she's too beautiful to be Kathy in Wuthering Heights. So anyway, my friend Teresa, shout out to her. She's obsessed with Wuthering Heights.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really? I saw it.
Julia, it didn't
Are you gonna
trigger
go?
your horny bone.
Didn't.
Yeah. I've got to see if it triggers anything with me. I feel
Are you gonna go?
No, I'll watch it at home so I can have my hands in my pants.
You're okay. Look at the time. It's now 6 a.m. Okay, you're sick, and you are Lori. And we are Lori and Julia, and we are still loud, and we want to thank you for hanging out with us today. And
I'm going to have good hair for the next clips. I've got some really
here's the
flat
deal,
hair.
because, we can see each other now. We do this and then post clips, but you promise you're going to have better hair. I mean, I look like I did just wake up.
Yeah, but you got strong glasses on. You're in a color scheme of beige. You've got, your hair looks nice. You've got little pigtails going on.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got flat, dirty hair. And the other day I was really impressed with how bad my hair looked. I was like, wow, I look horrible. But luckily I have a strong sense of self, and I know I look good naked. So I'll be fine.
Thank God for that. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Like us. Tell your friends to like us. Please support our sponsors. Without them, we would not be here. And they're all great and vetted by us. So trust us. They're good. And we will be back. Have a great day.